Welcome everybody to the Sausage Boys podcast. This is your host, the South Coast poster child, aka the mannequin from Newtown. I go by the name of Jackson Grant.
Wrong show.
Yeah, and that right there on the ones and twos, that's a man you know and love. He goes by the name of the Terry Crews of Sydney, aka the Steamroller. Karim Diallo. How the hell are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Nice.
I might actually have to ask our guest soon to go back to the other ones.
Give me a go of this. We're actually in a different studio today, and that's all thanks to our guest. Great comic. We've had him on before. You know him. You love him. He goes by the name of EJ Rovedi. Hey.
We're the away team today.
How you doing, my dude?
Very nice. Yeah, no, welcome to the dojo. You guys are glad that you could be here. I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're still working out the soundboard.
This is unprecedented because we're doing 2 episodes on the first day, in one day. Like so you're going first, and then I'm going to do an episode for my podcast, and I'm like, now I've got to write almost like 2 podcasts where I'm like, I can't be derivative of the other one too much. I want to put out 2 fresh podcasts.
Yeah, because you write your one. That's the thing, isn't it?
I do like, I don't write it. I have dot points for it and things that I want to hit. And I know I'm doing a good podcast if I haven't looked down at it once.
Yes.
We're like freestyle battle rappers.
Yeah.
We
go
in.
You guys are impressive. You almost like kind of scoffing at my list a little. Not really. You guys.
No, we love you.
Yeah.
It's a different style, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's a very different style.
Well, I feel I'm comfortable. I'm on home ground. You know what I mean? This is in my, like, because I haven't seen you guys in a minute. I haven't caught up. But I have seen Terry Crews of Sydney on Instagram quite regularly, actually. He's been trolling it because, like, every time I like...
What are you about to say? What are you about to say?
Maybe we're going to incriminate me on the...
Every time... Look, and I'm incriminating myself on this, okay? Because, sure, you'll see a girl... who
you can incriminate me.
is very attractive, you know what I mean? And you're just like,
do you want me to sink this shit, bro? You give me a nod, I'll sink this shit.
Why? It's just a thirst trap of a page, and you step into that thirst trap, and like 8 times out of 10, the Terry Crews of Sydney is going to be following that page.
Tell you who's not following that page, the South Coast poster child.
And I'm just like, dude, why are you leaving your DNA at the scene of the crime? You know, like get out of there clean. And so like, look, I have like friends and family that have the same thing where you'll like just do like a quick little ghosting, like you jump in and out, like have a quick look, and you'll see like a family member or a friend that has liked that page, or they'll like photos in there.
Yes.
And I'm like, what would your fucking
It's part of it, I think.
Liking is crazy. It's almost like you're setting yourself up. Like, I can't put my hands up. I'm following everything.
What do you think? Because liking is like, you'd have to be on the photo to actually see the like. But if you are friends with that person, you're going to be the first thing that pops up.
Yes.
However, if you're just ghosting, you're scoping through, and you don't happen to go across that same like photo, you may never know that Terry Crews of Sydney has been here. You know.
That's true. I guess you're leaving like a scent.
You're leaving a little breadcrumb trail.
Oh yeah, it's like, hey, I've been here.
In case you ever go missing or something, it's like we're going back through clues. Maybe we could have a look at who he's following on Instagram.
Because you do the opposite. I see breadcrumbs of you liking comic stuff, and it's sometimes
do you
like
really?
So niche, and I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
The South Coast Poster Child's already been here.
Comic stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, like comic
videos or.
I thought you were talking about like Spider-Man.
Oh dang! I know you're kind of quite self-conscious about the getting caught out on being a comic fan.
No, I'm not. I feel like EJ is probably a comic fan.
You're a comic boy?
What do you mean, like comic fan?
I see some comic books.
I see some comics up there too.
Like not.
I noticed that.
Like actual like superheroes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love comics.
You like fake stuff.
I do like fake stuff, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the only novels I really read. I think...
really?
Do you guys read, like, novels? Because I try and... I find, like, if I'm going to put the effort in to read something, I want to, like, have it to be... I want to have it be, like, practical, something I can actually use.
Wait, what do you mean? But they have to have superpowers?
No, if I'm reading a book, like, okay, so if I'm reading, like...
Oh, so you wouldn't constitute, like, a comic as a book?
No.
You'd say,
a comic is like a comic book, you know what I mean? And so
yeah.
it's, like, as close to a novel as I'll get to, mostly. Like, I don't read very much, like... I can't even think of like a novel. Like what's the guy that fucking? I've got fucking books up here.
You got some books up there.
I got some books, and like I've read most of them, but there's a bunch of them I like want to get to, and then I've just run out of steam. I'm like, I can't do another one of the. You know what I read that was crazy. I can't believe I got through was Atlas Shrugged by
What's that?
Ayn Rand.
Yeah. I tried to do that the other day. The audiobook's like 60 hours long. I'm like, I'm not even... 60 hours is like an insurmountable amount of time.
As soon as I see something like that, it's like, okay, well, that's not for me.
Yeah.
It needs to be 12 hours.
Yeah.
For me.
12 is still crazy.
I like a good 12.
That's
pause. Do you know what I mean? I'm the kind of guy that likes a good 12. I like a good 12. Literally, anything over 12 is like, I'm probably not going to finish this thing.
Who does denominations? Do you only do 12-hour, like, what you like in 12-hour denominations with books, or is there something else you like to do for 12 hours?
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say 12 or something like that. Anything else I like to do for 12 hours? I don't even really... What else can you do? What's something to do?
Yeah.
Watch a movie for 12 hours?
I don't know. Just the way that you said that I like a good 12. Like, it was almost like you could go a 15
like the number,
on something else. You know,
15, 16's way too much.
Sleep? Do you sleep for 12 hours or do you do an 8?
I'm a 9.
You're a 9?
I'm a 9er. I like to be 9.5. Pause.
You're a big fella. You gotta like process a bunch of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
What about you? What are you doing on the fucking...
I'm doing about 8
You're an 80.
hours.
Yeah, that's... What do you think? I was
Sleep.
talking
Are you talking about sleep?
Sleep, yeah. 8 hours.
Yeah.
Getting a
I'm
slanger
doing
in.
about 8. I've been doing some good sleeping.
You've
The
been
other
sleeping
night,
nice.
I had a snack pack right before I went to bed.
Yes.
Oh, like a Greek shop snack pack, or like a
Like the
Lebanese
chips
food.
with like meat.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, in your dreams, you're just like fighting the IDF. You've literally got like a bazooka.
I woke up. I thought I'd been stabbed. My stomach was just a mess. It felt crazy, and there's nothing worse than having to go dookie.
Oh, you dookied when you woke up?
I went dookie like 3 a.m. I woke up
Yeah.
and was like, I gotta go to the toilet.
Dang. Did you paint the town red? I love that. Did you spray the toilet bowl? It's so like...
I don't even know. I
graphic,
didn't even turn the lights on. I just sat in there, just like I'm gonna. This is gonna be an ordeal.
Did you pee out of the number 2 hole? That's just me making that one up.
Yeah.
Were you peeing? Was there a stream?
I don't recall. It was a very.
So what did you eat in total?
A snack pack.
Just one snack pack did that to you. Put you over. So would you reckon it was a bad, bad snack pack?
I think you have to have a snack pack and then stay awake for a little while.
Snacking for a while. And this was the snack that broke the camel's back.
That snack pack just did a number on me.
What was the sauce? Were you going full sauces?
Garlic
you're doing
barbecue.
You're doing everything.
Yeah.
You're not being like, hey, I don't want any of this or that. What is on a snang pango?
There's like chicken kebab and beef kebab.
What
did you say?
I know, snang pango.
Is that the name of the order?
No, that's just
that's just a weird Ned Flanders.
That's just something you Flanders out.
I'm Flandersing out. I want to keep trying to Flanders out during this episode.
This guy is fucking insane, dude. I've never met a black Flanders. That's crazy, dude. I've met plenty of like, as a former Jehovah's Witness, people that I could relate to Flanders, but you're challenging for top
You're
Flanders.
Jehovah's Witness, that's right.
For top Flanders.
Did you actually meet some Flanderses out there?
Yeah, of course you would. Yeah, 100%. I want to get back to this snack pack though.
You Are My Destinies. Are there a lot of Flanders in the Pussycat Dolls song?
Do you reckon? Like, I always thought that Flanders sort of sounded sincere. You know, like he actually was a good guy. He wasn't like a Bill.
He seemed a bit creepy.
Like, sometimes, but like because he had the horse cock as well. You remember? Like every
no.
Do you remember the episode where there was some sort of Homer was trying to put together a dating profile for him when Maude died?
Yeah.
And Homer filmed him while he was in the shower, and Flanders is like, "Get out of here!" And he had to blur this thing that goes all the way down.
Yeah.
I remember that. Oh, that's so funny. I literally don't remember that.
They killed his wife Maude, but they gave him a horse cock, and no one ever assumed that.
And he's ripped as well.
He's
jacked.
Yeah, he's like feels
that.
like you're wearing nothing at all. You remember that? Like he was always like they always like punched they always like made him the Christian boy that they made fun of, but then they gave him these weird God-given attributes.
I didn't know I didn't know our boy Flanders was well hung.
I would believe in God too.
That's crazy.
100%.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's what it is. If you have like a penis that's over 8 inches,
but there are people that
you're gonna
like,
become a Christian.
There are people in the.
That's why I'm an atheist.
That's why I'm a Satanist.
Oh my God, he's figuring out the.
I know. I'm getting there.
That's insane. Yeah, but how long have you been Flandersing out?
I only do it when I get excited.
For how long though? Because you weren't doing it the last time I saw you. You like
a
slow stroke.
I think because I'm comfortable here. Like we've been here before.
Yeah,
we've done your podcast
Interesting.
before. And maybe it's kind of like I'm in a familiar setting that I haven't been in for a while. And I'm kind of excited to be back, I think.
Loose, you're Flanders out, but tight, you're like you're all like.
I'm just more rigid. Maybe I'll be making awkward jokes. I only Flanders out when I'm very comfy.
I like to hear it. Well, I'm glad to hear you're comfy.
Yeah, I ate a good meal. I love your place. It's just got a lot of charm, a lot of character.
That's nice.
Look at all these books.
We're doing a little bit of a flex. It's just because if we're doing I didn't mean to have I wasn't trying to put my bookshelf in the frame and be like, oh, you caught me off here. I was just catching up on the dictionary.
I saw you move the bookshelf into frame right before we started.
It's just that if I do it that way, it's less aesthetically pleasing, I think.
I want a bookshelf so bad.
I'm surprised you don't.
It's literally one of those things as well on Matt and Shane. They had this debate, and I think we can address it a little bit. Is it okay? Have you read a book if you've listened to it on audio in Audible?
I've read a book and then thought about buying it to hang it up.
Yes.
Oh, it's the same as having a vinyl. It's the same as having a vinyl. No one's listening to a fucking vinyl.
I want to do that.
So funny, bro.
I want to do that.
I want to listen to it on Spotify.
Yeah.
I want to listen to the 3 songs on that album that I like, and then I want to buy the vinyl and display it in my room.
I've done. I relate to that through comic books because I've read them when I was a little kid on Wikipedia. I'd read them on Google Pages and and I knew the whole story. But then I was like, I want the physical copy.
Of course,
I literally want the physical copy.
Yeah.
That is so funny with the book though. That's almost that's like finishing a puzzle and then hanging it up just to prove you done it, rather than just smash it up and put it back in the box and be like, how's anyone gonna know that I had done this 1,600 piece?
I know, is it wrong? Because there are some books that it's I would love to have the Iceberg Slim book or something like that, just to put up there and be like, I remember that thing.
That's cool as hell though.
It's
an identifier. It's I see what this guy is about.
It's a flex, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know if that's legal. Is that legal?
I just want to get books like the dictionary.
I'd count it. In 2024, I'd count it. But if you okay, what about this? If you did read it in paper ink form,
are
you going to preface it with that? Are you going to say, I read it, didn't listen to it? I actually...
Here we go, yeah. That's maybe the question as well.
I actually read it.
Yes, I've read that
Those
book.
guys are so annoying.
Well,
I've read it. There's nothing that beats that feeling of crack in the back, the spine of the book, flipping the page.
I've got things to do.
I haven't met that guy, but he's already annoying me.
Yeah, he's out there.
He's already annoying me. But is it that kind of do you reckon that you would do that if you or would you, if you put the book on your shelf and someone goes, yo, you read this? And you go, I listened to it, but I bought it because maybe I might get it signed by the person one day because I liked it so much. Or are you buying books that you don't even like, but you read it? But you
do you have to say that? Do you have to let everyone know, oh, by the way, I listened to this on Audible? But
do you have to preface it? Because I'm almost like that. Did you, I can't compare it to anything else, but yeah.
I listened to the record. It's what about live albums? Like bands?
Oh, okay, like a live vinyl.
You can't say that you saw the band live.
No, that's true. But even if you have let's say the Beatles or the Clash, as live in London or something like that.
Dude, I love that as a premise. I don't know if you have that as a joke, but that's funny as fuck.
Oh, yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
No, that's funny as fuck. Just the idea of that's what it is, or a little bit. I haven't figured out the angle there, but that's very because when people if you get the vinyl, what are you doing? You're literally just hearkening back to a time before the technology that we have today, which is ostensibly superior.
Yeah.
Rather, it's almost like people that prefer to use wooden hand tools for wooden structure.
Yeah.
And it's dude, we have machinery for this, and they're no, I want to do it the way my ancestors did it. It's that is the actual reading is just the comparison of hearkening back with a vinyl album. You know what I mean?
Rather it's I want to get a vinyl like my...
Don't you have a Spotify account? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or don't you have an Apple fucking...
Does sound better on vinyl.
That's a great fucking...
I want to do it
sounds really good.
My grandparents.
Sorry.
And it's your grandma was addicted to Ritalin and your grandfather was abusive. They weren't better times.
I like that bit. That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
I like a lot.
Yeah. What's going on? Are you going to get a book? Are you going to start a bookshelf? This guy's getting me inspired. I really want to do it.
I do have a bookshelf, but it's not categorized in any kind of cool way. I've literally got library books that I stole. They have the thing on it. So if I wanted to do it right, I'd just have to chuck out the ones that didn't look cool.
Yeah,
just have the cool ones displayed.
Because you need to have just the best books. You can have some guilty pleasures that you just don't put up there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I reckon. I mean, like you can also double layer it. So like there's books behind it.
Oh my god!
Look at that book. That looks cool as
That
hell.
looks so cool.
And you put it
The
behind.
bell jar, Sylvia
Plath.
Yeah. Can I tell you something? I might even have to have you guys cut this from it. But like,
what's that book about? You haven't read that book, have you?
This is I mistook that book. I thought it was another book that I was stealing.
Oh, you stole that?
Yeah.
You're a book stealer.
So I'm not a book. I guess if you've done it once, then you are a book stealer, aren't you?
I guess technically.
And you know what? I stole a book that I still have back in high school. It was like I was in a photography class, and it was a photography book, and I loved this book. Yeah. And they wanted me to check it back in. I was like, I'm not checking it back in. I finished high school. Yeah. I'm taking this book. And then there was some times where I'd like buy a book, but then I'd also take a couple books afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like grapes at Woolworths. You're allowed to have a couple.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah.
I'm buying the pack.
Yeah. So I thought that Sylvia Plath was actually, I thought it was something, I don't know, like Virginia Woolf or something like that. I was mixing it up. But then I got it back and I was like, I got it back home and I was like, oh fuck, Sylvia Plath. She's that chick that stuck her head in the oven because she was so depressed. Like I had to do a whole like semester of her in high school, and I was like, this fucking.
Yeah, me too.
By the time she killed herself, I was like, I'm glad you did it. Like I was like, I'm done with you. You have beautiful poetry, but your life was so depressing, dude. You know what I mean?
What happened?
Like,
What's her life? I don't know much about this lady.
I don't remember too much about it.
I don't even know if it was that sad. I don't think
she made it pretty sad. She was like, I think she was getting fucking. I don't know. She just had like relationship issues with her like marriage. And she had children, but just didn't feel connected to them. Maybe I'm butchering Sylvia Plath, but I have not read the bell.
Well, she had like postpartum depression or something.
No, I think her husband was just cheating on her a bunch and stuff. But it's funny that was part of the curriculum because we learn about context in English
was cheating on
around
her a
it
bunch and shit. And like, and then her like she had. It's funny you say postpartum. I think it was like it's there is this premise where it's just like she might have been one of the first people like documented herself with postpartum kind of, and everyone was kind of looking at it and being like, "What the fuck's your problem, like lady? Love your kid, or like you know, and this is what nature told you to do, love." You know what I mean?
Have you seen them on Instagram?
What's that?
The postpartum women kind of like screaming in front of their camera.
You're just following a couple of them.
I come across it every now and
bring
then.
it up?
I wouldn't even know what to do, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it. It's like a kid in the background or the two kids in the background and the mum just having like a nervous breakdown being like, you don't know how it feels to da-da-da-da-da.
Who's filming it?
I think she has it set up literally like we do, like on a tripod. And she's having like a breakdown. Her kid's walking around in the background. She's just like...
That's what ladies do. This is dude stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I saw another one as well.
Wait, she set up like a ring light and was like, all right, I'm about to have a breakdown. Yes. Everybody ready? Places. 3, 2...
I watched another one of a lady.
Is that what are you talking about?
It was just like that. I saw another one recently of a lady who's like, if you're having like a going through something, smash ice. Like you just get a bunch of ice from the freezer. It's just her going. And it's like it's very therapeutic.
I like that. It's like the Eskimo version of screaming into a pillow.
Yeah.
Have you screamed? I've screamed into a pillow. I'm pretty sure when I was younger.
100%.
Yeah, I have.
It's a great move. It's such a nice move, isn't it? You feel good.
I don't know if I can tell you what word I yelled. I do just want to say about Sylvia Plath as well, quickly. It's funny to think like back then if someone was like, yeah, in 60 years from now, people are going to be talking about you in classes. And it's like, oh, they're going to be talking about my work. And it's like, kind of, they're mainly going to be talking about how you were depressed and your husband kept cheating on you.
Yeah.
And what, she killed herself. What about Godworth as well?
What is it?
Is there a laugh? Oh, yeah. What about gold?
Is there a laugh? Yeah, where is the laugh?
There it is.
Where is the laugh? Where were you looking for the laugh on that?
On Gold Plath?
On your
Why Gold Plath?
Yeah.
Not Sylvia. It's gold.
Oh, you Flandersing out.
Yeah, that was just a funny. Yeah, we've got crickets now, which is great. But yeah, how'd she kill herself?
So she put her head in the oven.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
She was just so depressed. I remember we had to watch this like...
How does that even work?
What do you mean? Like,
how do you put your head in an oven?
Oh, you don't know about this way of suicide?
No, I actually don't.
Oh, okay. It's like, I guess it's more of like an old school kind of like, because the people had more like gas instead of
Yeah, I'm more of an old soul. I'm gonna kill myself by putting my head in the oven.
It's not like hipsters kill themselves. It's just got like the rolled up hands.
It's the vinyl.
This is a vinyl playing.
It's the vinyl way of killing yourself. You're like, you're very nostalgic. You're like, oh,
I'm gonna take a bunch of Quaaludes and put my head in the oven.
The police come in, they're like, Oh, that's actually pretty cool. We haven't seen that literally in like 40 years.
This guy,
That's
he
sick.
put on a vinyl right before picking up his shoes from a cobbler and putting his head into an oven. Yeah, no, I think because it was more like gaslit ovens was if you could not ignite the pilot light in the back that would create the flame in the oven, and so you would just have a source of gas pouring into the house without any sort of ignition. Right. And so you just gas yourself. It's basically the same sort of concept as putting a hose from your exhaust pipe. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Also, she didn't have a head physically in the oven.
That's what you do, yeah.
Well, then you put your head inside.
Yeah, but you're not igniting it, so there's no fire. You're just breathing in the gas.
I think you can just sit beside it and you just pass out.
Oh, so you don't have to put your head physically inside it. I think that's the thing that's losing me.
You can put No, that's what you do. You put your head physically inside.
It's awkward. Have you try to put your head inside an oven? Your back's hurting. You're like,
I don't think when you're killing yourself, you're too worried about how comfortable.
I would.
No, dude. Like,
I would feel like a moron.
You're not putting on socks and being like, oh, the floor's cold right before I fucking jump off this stool and fucking hang myself. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
You just kind of get up there and do it.
But you're like, okay, here we go. You're here. The oven's there, and you just got to kind of do this.
This sounds like a guy that's not going to kill himself. He's just talking shit. He's like,
that's why I'm being so quiet over here.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah, you're doing this.
Yep.
And it's like, you're getting a sore back. How long do you have to do this for?
Oh, no, you're laying down.
What do you mean? Oh, so you're laying down and you got this thing.
Until the lights fade away, baby.
Yeah, I reckon.
You're really hurting your neck.
No, dude, you get down in doggy position style.
Yeah.
And you stick your head, you pull down the door.
And then you pull it up a little bit so it's kind of like resting against your neck.
No, you put your head as close to the gas coming out.
Oh, okay. So you just, so you can get like a tiny stool and do this.
You know how a gas mask works? Yeah. You know, like when you put a gas mask over, like when they feed you oxygen, like after an injury, they don't put like a whole, like they don't just put you in front of a fan with oxygen. They put you in front of like a very specific mouth covering. And that's because that's the most efficient way to feed that into you.
Right.
You don't have a gas mask from your oven. What you can do is put your face right next to the gas holes, so that as soon as you turn it on high and it starts going, pss, pss, light the lighter now, light the lighter now.
Yeah.
You just start gulping in fucking.
So you have the oven completely open.
Yeah.
So you don't have it closed a little bit.
There's no turkey in there.
Okay.
It's just you.
Because I would find that would just take up the whole room.
What do you?
I'm liking the specifics of this. Maybe I have a very specific oven. I just can't imagine how it's done. Because I would just assume it's going to go everywhere.
It's gas as well. It just smells.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that he knows so little about suicide.
Or just this
no more about suicide. All right.
This one in particular, I do not get.
Well, people think she just did it to.
You've bemused me.
No, I don't understand the actual process.
I think the conspiracy or whatever is
silly.
They thought that potentially it was like a cry for help, and she would just pass out, and then they would have come and found her and be like,
yes,
oh my God. But yeah, husband would have come home, the house would have smelled like gas, and he would have walked in and been like, oh, Sylvia, did you?
Oh yeah, she's killed herself.
It is a selfish way to do it, because what about if you're like, fuck, like you like walking in the house and you're like, another day with Sylvia Plath, and you like light a cigarette. You just walk in and just like why couldn't you just blow your head against the wall like a fucking lady, dude?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I would do, trying to like crouch down and hurt my neck and back, trying to get near this oven.
I have actually heard that women are much more polite with killing themselves than men are.
Really?
Yeah, like women.
Dudes always like hang themselves nude. That's the thing that I never get.
Yeah.
It's like in the middle of their house, so it's like naked guy.
Well, women will
just
like
out the front of Coles.
if a woman does blow her head off, I think women kind of go like they're like, man, shooting yourself in the head is such a rude thing to do. Like someone's gonna have to clean that up, you know? Like,
true.
And so they'll be like, let me put a couple garbage bags over my head before I blow it out, so most of it goes in the bag.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas guys are like, I want you to know how sad I was. Splat. You know what I mean? Like they're much more rude about killing themselves.
They want to kind of make a scene a little bit.
Yeah, they're like,
and it's like, I'm going to jump from this building and I'm going to kind of ruin the lives of probably 20, 25 people.
I think women are more polite with suicide. They're like,
they'll just go walking into the sea, into the ocean.
because it's like a poem. They want everything to kind of be beautiful. And with that, I took my last breath. A guy is like, "Fuck you, cruel world. I'm fucking out of here. See yous."
Oh yeah, Meredith. No, she walked into the ocean.
She's like, I gotta return myself back to the earth. I don't want to be a burden on anybody. And I think that's somewhat noble. You know what I mean? It's almost like digging your own grave.
Literally, I was gonna say that's a real feminine way, just to dig your own grave and just put a casket in there.
Walking into the ocean's so fun.
So
that's
cool.
hilarious. I'm
so cool. Due to us being a public place, just like Westfield,
dude,
it's like at the front of a porno.
That's so funny. I've been using that. I've been using that line for you know, like sometimes you get a gig right next to an RSL, and there's like it's like the worst gig ever. It's like overlit. It's like in a conference room kind of thing. But the people like they want to see a show. And I think a really funny line that I like to make fun of them and just be like, oh, you guys, but you know when it's like mostly pokies?
Yes.
But then they have like a small bar, there's like a beer garden for kids, but there's just a lot of like the punters in there just losing their daily fucking budget or whatever. Course. And I always like being like, oh, you guys, I'm glad you guys made it here. The rest of you, the empty seats, were all punters that just walked into the ocean after they had a bad slap. You know what I mean? So I love that fucking analogy. Walked into the ocean is so funny.
Walking into the ocean is
so badass.
You know what? Cut that last bit. I hate explaining. I just explained a bit that I had.
We're not cutting anything. We're not cutting anything.
Cut it out.
I like the bit. Have you ever tried to drown yourself as a kid? That was always.
Now you're going to walk into the ocean. We don't cut it out.
I've never felt less in control in my own in my own dojo, no doubt.
Walking into the ocean, I would get probably like up to my neck, and I'd just start swimming.
It's very Australian of you to do
but that's just me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Have you
like Harold Holt or something like that?
I've almost drowned before. Like,
You've almost drowned?
Yeah, when I was a little kid. You guys almost drowned?
No.
Ever?
Ooh. My cousin
I think I've been in a
held
bad
my head
rip
underwater.
with some bad waves, probably.
Well, okay, what's the closest you've ever come to death?
Oh.
Because I was like, I was hoping that you guys had a bunch of drowning stories, but...
yeah, my cousin put my head underwater when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that go? Did he let go?
That doesn't feel good, but like, what was he trying to kill you?
It was a girl, and it explains a lot. I don't know. I think everyone, like kids, have that thing where they need to feel like a sense of power, or like they need to realize that. That's what I chalk it up to.
Especially cousins.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think it was malicious. We had a great relationship.
You let some chick put your head underwater.
Yeah.
Well, I meant more like...
She was 24 at the time.
I meant more like even the qualifying, you know, did you ever almost get hit by a car? Were you in a bad car
I almost
accident?
killed my brother.
Tell us that
This
story.
is a terrifying one.
Yeah, tell us.
We had these very big buckets.
Is he older or younger?
Younger.
Yeah.
Very big buckets. And I put him underneath the bucket and I sat on top of it.
Underwater.
No, just there.
What do you mean?
Just like
which would have felt like he was underwater. It was like,
let's say it was here. And you guys will probably know about this.
So you just
scientists when it comes to suicide.
Pancake this fucking poor kid.
Yeah, there was just no air. I was there for like 10 minutes.
Is he like you for? Is he big or is he not?
Oh, we were kids. I was probably like 10 or 9.
And is he like as an adult? Is he the same sort of build as you? Or
oh, he's a skinny guy. I was a real skinny kid. So I'm a two tiny skinny.
Okay, cool, fair enough. And you were on there for 10 minutes, you said?
I'm on there for around 10 minutes, just
bucket.
thinking it's so funny. Like a bucket, like a sealed bucket. My mum just comes running and kind of like pushes me off, and she's like, you could have killed him doing that.
Yeah.
Because there's no oxygen getting in.
Also, it was mum overreacting.
She saved me. Can you die from that?
She saved me.
What
do you mean, saved me? What, saved your little brother?
Yeah, you saved him. Because this could have he died
What kind of ground were you on?
Like a flat ground. Like a flat ground and a bucket.
I feel like enough oxygen would get in.
A pretty tight bucket. And this is the thing, I don't know how it works, but I'm talking about I was on top of I was on top of like a sealed bucket, right?
Yeah.
Holding him like I'm on top of it, just laughing.
A bucket? It's usually
I
like
guess
a
just
cork
like
or a lid.
this or something, this sort of.
Or the weight of you, dude.
And the weight of me on top of it, there was no air coming in.
Okay.
I was there for around 10 minutes. I've thought about this. I don't know too much about the science of like breathing.
Yeah.
But my mum was like, you literally could have killed him.
Just banging on the bucket, the bangs are just slowing down.
That does sound pedantic.
Because it was so good. I was like, this is going to be so funny. I'm going to be here all day.
Yeah.
I think he could have died. Do you both not agree?
I mean, I guess, you know.
Probably not. It kind of scares me every now and then.
I would
imagine 30 minutes or something. My mum comes, he's off, or like I'm like, okay, enough now, and he's just bam.
So what was his reaction?
Oh, we're just playing oven.
What was his reaction? Was he like?
I think he was kind of like breathing for air or gasping for air.
Okay,
it was like he was a bit like rattled.
Maybe your mum noticed something that.
Maybe we used to fight each other. I threw him through like a glass window.
What is the worst thing you've ever done to your brother?
Yeah,
worst thing I've ever. It'd be that.
Almost killing him.
What I would do, because we watch like WWE wrestling.
Yeah.
I think I got him.
sexually assault him. Like Vince McMahon.
Oh, true.
Yeah, I got him to massage me, and I kind of touched him inappropriately.
I shadowed him, and I told him finish up this threesome.
I would do crazy wrestling moves from like when we had like a swimming pool. I would get to like the top of the house, and I think it would probably just be RKOing him off like the top of a house, and him getting very close to the concrete right near the pool. I would be there. He's been RKO'd. I'm nicely in the pool. He's like just about to hit the concrete with his head.
Yeah, that sounds like growing up. That sounds great.
It was the best childhood in the entire world. We were just doing wrestling moves on each other non-stop.
Yeah, that was
non-stop.
That was a lot of like growing up. I remember I switched in music my sister, real nice.
Oh, you got it, full connection.
What switch in music?
Full connection by accident.
Okay, did you give her the warning?
I didn't set it up.
You didn't do any of the.
No, actually, no. You know
you're
what?
not illegally allowed to do a switch in music without doing this.
I did.
First.
I did actually set it up. I set it up, but like it was. I think that's why I connected so hard because I thought that she watched as much WWE as me and my brother, but she was literally just trying to be as the only girl in the family, trying to be like, let me join in with you guys that are always wrestling.
You just get kicked in the face.
And I was like, Paris, it's like it's coming, kind of thing. But I don't think I
sees you doing. Jackson doesn't watch WWE, but Shawn Michaels would do this, and he'd wait for the person to kind of look at him.
Yeah,
and then as soon as they would look at him, they're getting kicked in the face.
Who was like the smaller Bobby Lashley guy that would do the power slam? He would do the power slam. He was a black dude. Like he would do the sweet power slam. Like he would just like.
Not Bobby. Is it Bobby Lashley?
It's not Bobby Lashley. It was a smaller guy.
Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, it might be Shelton.
It should have been
Benjamin.
Shelton Benjamin.
It was like, but he was an athlete. Like
Shelton Benjamin was the athlete.
Motherfucking athlete. He would make.
He came out with his mum.
I don't remember.
His mum would be at every fight. That was his gimmick.
Yeah, maybe that's
it. And he was like known as his college.
Sheldon Benjamin. We got the laptop
just
right
make
here
sure
because
it's the right one.
I remember I would try and imitate his, like he looked like a fucking college athlete.
Yeah, it would have been Sheldon
just
Benjamin.
Be like he would like it was a beautiful wrestling style.
Yes.
Like
it was real tradition. It was a real classic sort of style. Yeah, it was great to watch.
And
it was very boring, but it was good to watch.
That sounds like okay, Sheldon Benjamin.
And you like that sort of wrestling?
I love that wrestling. But I remember I would do it to my brother all the time. I remember the couch, like the material of it hitting my arm and my face, like the way of like it was like kind of like the way it felt to my face, even like hitting it. And
you had a brother, did you?
Yeah, little brother, like
how
year younger.
Oh my gosh, you would have gotten up to hell.
Oh man, he's my best friend. Like,
in terms of like wrestling each other, brothers just fight each other.
Dude,
that's the thing. You just fight each other all day. It's like you wake up in the morning, you see him, you just start running, and you just like get a wrestling move in.
That's such a good knowledge.
Yeah,
Sheldon Benjamin, you pull that shit up so tight. That's amazing. I can't believe you. That's a really good memory. But it was his move, power slam.
Yes.
And do you remember how we used to throw it, just like beautifully, like
he was a great watch.
No fat on the move. Like there wasn't like any pump or anything. It was like wham, like it was a judo 100%. Olympian kind of thing. It was beautiful. But I would try and like imitate him and slam him and get my neighbors knocking on the door being like, stop fucking wrestling. Because my grandmother would like babysit us and she was so nice. She'd let us just kind of do what she wanted.
Wrestle with each other.
As long as she had the TV. And if it got too loud, then she'd come in and be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Well, who's getting power slammed? But I knew it was getting really bad if my neighbor would like slam on the fucking
wall.
who's
getting power slammed.
Dude. I was like,
you think I'm getting power slammed?
He's gonna power slam me.
Yeah, I was like, my neighbor's gonna be talking to my dad because like they knew my dad since he was like a little kid. Like we grew up in Redfern, and so like they knew him, and they were like they're gonna be like, Vince, your fucking kids are fucking around in there, like, you know what I mean?
What do they
But I
expect?
gotta be
That's
real.
what kids do.
Your boy's got some moves.
He's got some... Do you see the form of that power slam?
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying.
I
Like,
thought it was Shelton Benjamin in that room.
It was just like 10 people in the window looking in.
dude, it was mostly my brother and I, but I think I got my sister involved, and then I hit her with the Heartbreak Kid, Sweet Chin music. You know what I mean? And like I don't think she saw the leg pump. Like, and I think my brother kind of like we wouldn't set it up the whole time. We're like, get your move done, and I probably kind of rushed it. I was like, doing it, and then just fucking.
Kicked your sister in the fucking face.
Dude, she fell back like a fucking movie, like just like her arms back like that, just like that. And
How did it feel? It was awesome for the first second or two.
I bring it up every Christmas. I'm like, every time we're together, I'm like, you remember that time I Sweet Chin music, you dude? What are you opening your mouth for? Shut up. Get against the ropes. You know what I mean? Like,
if she hears anyone stomping,
I'll do it again.
you guys
It's gonna be like she comes in, you're just like,
and she's like, this is my new husband. I'm like, and she's like, run.
I was gonna say it's funny, like wrestling's so fun and whimsical, and you could kind of do that back in the day. It's so fun and whimsical. All the names are really fun.
Yeah, it is good.
And then imagine like now kids just watching UFC. And it's like, I'm going to fucking I'm going to choke my little brother out.
Yeah,
I'm going to punch him in the face 5 times and knock him out.
You know what? That's not a bad point. I think because I'm such a big fan of it, like MMA. Like I try and like I love watching it. Any kind of
oh, you're an MMA guy.
Love MMA. Like I just love watching it and like.
Did you go to the UFC when it was here a few months ago?
No, I didn't. I've been to it before when it was here. I went and saw Verdum versus Tybura, but then I watch it on any level, like any country, any like division.
Really? You're just a fighting guy.
I love the sport of it, but like fuck it. I'm sorry. What was it that we were just talking about?
Oh yeah, you were talking about just like UFC becoming the new thing.
You were saying that's right. You were like, isn't it going to be funny that kids are coming up? And I'm like, yeah, I already knew. Like watching MMA, watching like the new generations coming up. I'm like, fuck, those guys are definitely watching the ones that were pioneering and were like the fucking Rushmore of the division. Because like I think the UFC started in 1992 or 1993 or some shit like that. Or it might have been a little bit later, but they it's like it's one of the it's so rapidly growing because so many people are invested and jumping into it and it's growing as much. Like, you remember when you had a Pokemon back in the day? Like when you got a Pokemon and you just basically you did one thing and you got like leveled up 3 points because you didn't know anything about the game. Like your guy got. That's how MMA has been with like. Since the UFC, where like people have just gotten so much better at being like, there's no more being like, hey, karate's way better than taekwondo, or boxing would beat any karate guy. You know, you can literally test it, and it's like now we need to meld it all. You know,
yeah.
And it's I think it's such a fucking fantastic sport, but that is so funny to think that kids coming up are just going to be way more dangerous for their little brothers and sisters.
just choking each other out.
I thought I was worried about a suplex. Now I have to worry about getting fucking ankle locked. You know what I mean?
I'm going to ground and pound my little cousin.
Which is actually they're going to have to learn defense, which is going to create better fighters for the generations coming up.
That's true.
This is like a weird one, but I always do funny things with my grandma. Whenever I see my grandma, I get her into a headlock.
I love that.
That's just
I love a headlock.
A thing that I always do, and I always kind of exaggerate. I'm like,
just look at your grandpa like, what are you going to do, old man? You ain't going to do nothing.
But that's one of my favorite things to do to my grandma. And
How long have you been headlocking Nana?
My whole life. Oh, actually, no, maybe when I turned probably 14 or 16.
Is Nana, like, is she robust?
Me and my grandma are, like, very, very close.
And she's like, she's tough. You're not like fucking her up.
She's just like the coolest person on earth. Mm-hmm. She's just like so cool. She just thinks it's like hilarious. She gets like the bit. She's just a very a person who goes with stuff. I see her like a brother almost.
All right. Well, like I love that because I love my Nana as well. Yeah. But I would never.
This is the thing. Yeah, most people would never have that sort of relationship with a grandmother.
No, that's great. I love it. But my Nana's like 4'11", and you're like.
My grandma's probably like 5 feet.
Yeah, it's nice.
Very frail.
So is she frail?
Very
frail. Get her in a headlock.
Always get her in a headlock. Not a proper headlock.
I love that.
I would never put any pressure, but it's always
just
a funny
so she
thing.
knows.
Just let her know.
I do it.
So she knows.
Yeah. And I always find it just the funniest thing in the world, where if it's like my auntie or I have like a friend who would be there or something, just see me do it. It's a very funny.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing to do.
It is. I think it's hilarious.
It's just the funniest thing you could possibly do. Is just get your grandmother in like a full headlock and then go like this.
Yeah. Have you ever been tempted to put someone else's grandmother in a headlock?
Yeah, 100%.
I know, honestly. I think fun to headlock grandmothers.
Yeah, or a parent of a friend. You know, like a parent of a friend is shitty. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Have you had that happen?
Oh my God. I used to go to like a friend's house and their dad would come home and get like mad or like beat them, like hit them in front of me.
What?
That was always a crazy one. Or it'd be like, get here right now.
Tell us,
and then
tell
it'd be like, bam, bam. And they'll be like,
when
they'll come back in like crying. You'd be like, anyway, back to Mario Kart.
That reminds me, I think I had a friend. I went to his house. I think his dad was a big drinker.
Oh, no.
And my dad wouldn't let me stay there anymore. But I've never asked my dad.
Dang.
This could backfire. I'm like, what happened?
He's like, you don't remember it, Jackson. You did stay there.
Yeah.
But he would get hit. He would be dishing out beatings.
I guess, yeah.
Really? And you heard them getting dished out?
The best was like my best friend in primary school would just beat the shit out of his little brother.
Oh, that's tough.
Because I don't have younger siblings.
Yeah.
I just got to witness it vicariously.
I got to see the older brother get beat up my friend.
Yeah.
That was always so rough. And you could tell like...
Were you scared?
You'd have these brother relationships that are like legitimately, these guys play rough.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're going to get punched and thrown. Me and my brother would keep it pretty fun.
Yeah.
We're not like actually hurting each other. But you could tell when it was the older brother, younger brother thing that's like, oh no, this guy's kind of beating his brother up.
Yeah.
This legitimately hurts and it's not fun.
Yeah.
Like they're not both in on it. This guy just gets beaten up a little bit.
Yeah, that is a wild situation. I actually had some neighbors that were Lebanese, and they were my neighbors during 9/11, and we were friends with them. We were friends with them before, my friend Habib, and
but yeah, they were out of town, of course, and
they were out of town.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Where have you been?" But like I remember we were friends because when we moved in, he was kind of shitty. I remember when he moved in, we were in the backyard playing on the first day that we moved in on the grass, and we might have been like 10 or something.
Yeah.
Like it was like I was born in 92 and it was 9. So what is we?
So you
11.
remember 9/11 a little bit because I'm probably at the age. I'm 95 and I don't really remember 9/11.
Oh, I remember it because like I was 10 because exactly. So it was turning 11. My birthday is December 29th. So it's like the last day of the year. So I guess I was 10 for the majority of that year. I was 11 at the end of it. But like I do remember waking up and seeing my mum crying in like the living room. Yeah, because she I guess caught it. It happened at night when we were here, and she caught it on the news just before she went to bed and stayed up all night. And I could tell the moment I came out of my room, she'd been up all night crying. Yeah, she'd just been watching it. And I just remember, I didn't realize the ramifications, but like when I would walk to the 7-Eleven with my friend Habib, people didn't look at him the same.
Really?
You know, because like,
what sort of glares and stuff's he getting? What's the situation? The yelling out things or?
No, I didn't see that with him, but I just saw him. It was more through his energy of being like, fuck, I'm fucked. It was almost feeling like...
Yeah, Habib, shouldn't have done that. Maybe you shouldn't have done it.
It felt like a little bit like, you remember Die Hard 3 where at the beginning of the movie they drop him off in like
with the
Harlem,
N-word.
With the N-word on his chest.
Course.
That's what it was almost like walking around with Habib. Like it was like he just...
What suburb's this? Redfern?
Tempe.
Oh, Tempe. Gosh.
Yeah, we were in Tempe.
Yeah.
At the time. And I remember how did we get here again? We were talking about 9/11. We talk about friends, neighbors. That's right.
Weird relationships
with the sisters.
Yeah,
but like I remember, he had this like relationship with his sisters where he was.
Were they hot?
He was the oldest brother. They were kind of cute. Yeah, Sarah and Nor. Shout out Sarah and Nor. And they would actually pretend to be the girls that would walk us out to the trampoline wrestling match.
Oh,
sometimes.
great. So they played the part.
They would play the part. They'd be like, because they had WWE in the house. We weren't allowed to watch
dude
WWE.
With his arm around his sister's waist.
Dude.
Thanks, babe. Slap on the butt.
Get out of here.
It was that a bit. Like, it was like him walking around with like the ring car girls.
Maybe that's why everyone was looking at him.
He also had his two sisters by his side.
That is so funny. But that was what it was, actually, a little bit. It was like him just they're walking us out, kind of.
It was a little bit incestual.
And because you know how certain wrestlers had different entries? You know, like certain like wrestlers had different things.
You'd have like Vince McMahon who would kind of do
yeah,
this
exactly.
crazy
And other
legs.
crowds would be like, you know, and other ones would come out with the girlfriend and like give them a kiss on the way in, kind of
What are
thing.
you about to say?
I was always like...
Yeah, what was your move?
No, I remember like whenever...
I'll have sex with her.
if that was ever...
I don't know, it's what my character does.
If that was ever brought up, I was like, oh, no way, we could do something else. But like, I mean, if we have to, you know what I mean? I'll kiss your sister.
What?
You know what I mean?
Really?
It never happened. But I
Okay.
was like, I remember that was always...
You're alluding to a smoocherooski.
That was, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to allude too hard. We'd always bring up the certain entries and be like, well, do we have the girls? Do we have the girls for this entry? If we don't have the girls for this entry, we can't do this wrestling match. You know what I mean? So
Were they all Muslim?
yeah.
That's the way it should be. They know their role. It's like, I'm gonna play the female part. I'm gonna be the ring girl. I'm gonna be the accessory that walks in with the man. Isn't that just a good culture?
I'm gonna need you to bleep out the daughters' names. Keep the joke in. Don't bleep out the daughters. And you know what? I feel the same. 100%. We needed
Western women would be like, no, I'm gonna be the wrestler and I'm gonna beat up the guys.
We need some good Islamic ring card girls.
Would you program the matches or like script them?
We definitely script them before. For some of them, otherwise it was just like slamming the littlest guy and being like, okay, let the little guy slam us. But then other times it would just be like,
Pause.
all right, a double suplex on the little guy. You know what I mean? Like just both of us right onto the fucking.
There's nothing better than slamming a little guy.
Oh my god,
honestly.
little guys are just made to be slammed.
It was always my little brother got slammed a lot. But like,
was he the littlest?
Yeah, it was. The
Oh,
littlest,
that's
'cause
tough.
It was Habib, then me, then him in terms of size. Habib was like bigger than us, and
Yeah.
he was older. But I remember Habib got his revenge once because we got our revenge, or Habib got his
Habib's Revenge. That sounds like a really good movie from like 2001. You just go to the Video Easy. It's like Habib's Revenge. So this is like a real low budget.
So the plot of Habib's Revenge is
yeah.
what happened was he would always he would orchestrate a lot because he was older. He would orchestrate a lot of the matches. Be like, I'm getting this ring card girl. I'm like, I wanted that sister. So no, I'm just joking. But he would.
So the ring card girls really have a pivotal part in this.
No, it was if anything, it was
or-
almost like a WrestleMania sort of like scenario where they would come around every
nice.
now and then, and be like, we got the girls involved, whatever.
But then girls would never wrestle.
The girls would never wrestle. No,
Really?
never.
Yeah.
They would just bring in the wrestlers.
Yeah, I love that.
But I remember Habib. He would always orchestrate, but he was also like the Vince McMahon. Like you'd love to see him lose.
Yes,
You know?
of course. Would he play it up? Would he kind of like?
He played up, and I
That's
remember he got stuck like because the trampoline flipped. Do you remember if you could hit it? It was almost impossible to flip a trampoline, but if you hit it at the right angle,
Yeah.
you could flip.
You
it.
talk about the corner where it flips over. Yeah,
or even like the deep or shallow middle of like a trampoline.
You're
where
bringing
you,
me
oh,
right back.
You
I
kinda
realize you have WrestleMania on the trampoline.
You're like doing,
as
and then you
do.
hit it, and you go like,
yeah.
oh, and you like come all the way back, and you somehow flip it.
Yeah.
He got the inside of his big toe and like
Yeah,
index
yeah.
finger toe.
Yes, I know this. I know this.
Stuck in between the springs, and he was hanging, and he was like, ah,
oh my god!
and it was bleeding. And
I was
stuff
gonna
like
be
that.
like, I'm literally gonna be sick. That's so.
He was bleeding, and and my brother and I were like, let's get him down. And like, I remember him crying about it as like
Yeah.
a little kid, and then but then afterwards we were kind of like, fucking, the commissioner really got what he deserved. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
I remember when I was a
my
kid,
gosh.
my age difference between me and my oldest nephew, because my sister's like way older.
Yeah.
He's like 6 years younger than me.
No one wants to see
So
those
he's-
ring card girls.
So he's the little guy.
Nice.
And I remember like going on the trampoline. He was trying to like do a backflip or something, and I was like, "I'll show you." And I jumped up and like went to do a backflip, and like landed somehow with my leg, like in between the trampoline and the
the
rim,
spring area.
but with my
Yeah.
body like off the trampoline.
Oh.
And I remember like
Gosh.
happening so quick. I'm just like laying back, and I just look at my nephew and I go, "Help!" And then he would have been like 6 at the time, and just his little body just ran inside to go and get like my mum or something like that.
Oh my my god!
Help! Another time.
It's like when you if you somehow dunked over a rim of a basketball hoop and one knee went in.
Yeah.
It's like bending back.
Oh, that's so painful.
If your leg went through, you were either credit carding right onto your nuts or you were blowing out an ACL as an 8-year-old.
There was no injury even in this. I was just basically stuck in an awkward position.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Because kids are rubber bands. There's no back injuries as kids.
You can get away with so much as a kid.
Yeah,
so
you
much.
can.
Like
I would be a maniac.
Yeah.
No one does WWE for fun unless you're a rubber ball. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, it's literally just like, we got to get this energy out, right? Yeah. All right, let's grab the littlest one and fucking right off the ropes.
I remember we had like big water tanks because we used to live on like a farmy sort of thing. And I remember I just had one friend who could just jump off these water tanks. And these are like big, probably like 3-4 times the size of me or something like that. And he would just land.
Yeah.
He was just kind of, he'd do like a Spider-Man land.
I've actually been watching a black dude doing Spider-Man lands. People like always do videos of him and they always say, what does this guy think he's Spider-Man?
Oh, is that dude that does like the crazy backflips and he always gets so enthusiastic about it?
Yeah, exactly.
The enthusiasm ruins it. He's like, yes! Yes! Yes!
I relate.
And I'm like, dude, let's be cool a little bit here.
Yeah.
Do your crazy flip and be like, sick.
I've seen him do it. Like I relate to the crazy, like because that's how
Really?
I'd be if I pulled it off. I'd be like, oh my god,
It ruins it though. He's done like the most amazing thing you'll ever see in your entire life, like a triple backflip. He lands it, and then he'll just act like a crazy kind of.
I think what attracts
like a
me
loser.
to it came from like a fitness perspective because it was like, oh, how do you bulletproof your knees, or like how do you have bulletproof knees? Because he like jumps off this, he does like a backflip, lands on his knees where most people would like blow some shit out.
100%.
But he hits and like. I don't know if you've jumped off like a really high thing before and like you hit sometimes you fuck up and you like land where your knees bend correctly, but then your chin goes right into your knee.
Ooh.
So you jump off something high and you bend correctly, you're like, yeah, bend, but then you like slam into your knee, just the inertia of coming down.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, fuck. Like you fuck yourself up a little bit that way. He lands perfectly with
his
head to the side, like just to the side of his knees and like, his palms
100%, yeah, he's just like the bam.
Boom, and then he comes up and he's just like, but
then he acts like a crazy person celebrating, and it kind of ruins it.
Oh, that's fair enough. So you don't like celebrators?
He just ruins the whole thing. He ruins what he's doing. He's literally acting like a ninja. He does the most impressive thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and just the way he goes about congratulating himself is just, you can tell he's a corny guy in real life.
Yeah.
You can tell like he's a
herb.
Yeah, he's a real herb. Like he's just,
Yeah.
It literally takes away from
I
it.
like that.
We kind of like that a lot.
All right.
But I remember I used to try to jump off the tanks. I was always too scared to. And I think the only ever time I would kind of land so like flat and I'll be like, I've done damage here.
I'm blowing up.
I've done damage. Not today, but in
You're
the
acting
future
like
I've done damage.
A thrown brick instead of like
Literally.
a slinky downstairs or something.
Exactly. And it's like,
gentle.
yeah, the rest of the play or the rest of my day, I'm going to be kind of running a bit slower than everyone else.
Did you say play like were you an actor?
Like play outside. Well, I was big on play as a kid.
I love hearing
I love some play.
Where art thou, shall?
If we're talking about acting.
I can't. Of course, I mean, I shouldn't have.
I should.
He's like, just breaks in a song.
I want some play. I want more play in my life.
I love some play.
I want to run around.
I was a playboy.
Yeah, you were.
I was a real playboy back in the day.
Yeah.
I grew up like kids in the 80s would have grown up.
Really? You're a street kid.
I was a street kid. We all got on our bikes.
He's a playboy.
Yeah, Hugh Hefner over here.
Yeah. We'd get up out on our bikes and we'll just roam the streets. We'd kind of invent like enemy groups.
That's what playboys do.
Yeah.
They roam the streets on
Roam
bikes.
the streets.
We're a couple of playboys, boys.
We'd have like enemy gangs just on our bikes. We'd call them like the Johnny Gang or something like that.
Did you guys ever interact, or was it just like always some kids in the distance and you're like, that's the bone knuckle gang?
We literally would do something like that, and we'd do some weird bit about how like they're the enemies, and maybe we'd throw stuff at them, and if they would try to chase us, we'd like right away.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
It was just the black gang that kicked you out. They were like, you're out of here, Karim. And you're like, we can't talk to them anymore. Those guys are scumbags.
I couldn't land. They hated the way I landed. They kicked me out of the gang.
Did you ever get in a fight as a kid? Like with a rando?
I remember I got in a fight. I don't know if it was a bully, but I remember I think it was kindergarten or year one, I had like a bully or a dude I had beef with. And I remember very vividly, he got me one day and then he dragged like my head through bark.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like bark got all in my
He
eyes.
dragged your head through the composer bark?
Oh my God.
I really like that.
That was purely for Kareem, I knew. Yeah.
I wish you had a better joke, but the concept was there.
Yeah,
I liked it. I wish it was quicker.
That was very well done.
Yeah.
Like if he was like, what did he slam your head into an old, like what did he slam your head into one of those vinyl players, or what is the vinyl player with the horn that comes out of it? You know, the old school vinyl player with the horn that comes out because there were no electrical speakers.
Yeah.
If you had the name for that, like a phonogram or a
Oh,
phonohorn,
yeah.
what did your bully slam your head into a phonogram? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You'd be like,
take that, Kareem.
yeah, you could be like, yeah, because of bark, obviously, and you'd be like, yeah, it was a dumb joke, but smart joke though, right?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
That joke was so bad that I just slowed everything down like crazy.
It was a big screeching hold because
Yeah.
I immediately was like, can we punch it up?
Yeah.
Can we try
I liked it. I really enjoyed it.
Speaking of punching up,
Speaking of punching
Kareem,
up.
did you get in a fight?
Speaking of editing,
There
what
we
do you
go.
boys cut it out?
Yeah. And yeah, no, I did. He dragged my head through bark. I was too scared to fight him back.
No, I relate to that actually because I had the first school that I went to because I was homeschooled. I was homeschooled by my mum.
Yeah.
As I've told you
Yeah.
before. I'm only saying this because I quickly flicked through our old episode before this because I didn't want to try and double up on things that I talked about.
Yeah.
I didn't want to try and talk about the same. I was like, well, if it comes up, it comes up, but we'll just try and keep it. Anyway, so, but I told you boys that I had done homeschool before, and the first school that I went to was a preschool in Redfern, and I had a bully named Billum.
Billum, that's a bully name.
Yeah.
You're literally asking for your
Billum the
kid to be
villain.
a villain.
Yeah, he was another indigenous kid,
Oh.
but,
Yeah.
he'd repeated.
What are we doing?
He'd repeated a bunch of times.
What are we doing, man?
Come on, man.
He
Yeah.
didn't believe me. He didn't believe I was Wiradjuri at all. So
Okay,
he
yeah.
didn't want to hear it. But his mum, I think it was cheaper for him to do preschool, so his mum just kept enrolling him in that instead of putting him in year one. So he was older than all the other preschool kids. He just kept putting him in preschool.
That's an all-you-can-bully buffet if you're like a like a kid who's meant to be in like year 2 or something like that, and you
Yeah.
just got these like
I literally
toddlers.
run around the class just slapping everyone in the face. Pat, 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 pat.
Dude.
It'd be like I was entering a sports field, giving out high fives.
Yeah, it was basically like he
He's
would
taking
be.
everyone's meal.
He was a one man. You remember when like they walk through new prisoners into a prison? They're like fish,
Oh
fish,
my
and they're like, you're the new
gosh.
fish in the fucking pond. Like he was a one man fish orchestra.
That's so
Like as
good.
all the new kids came through, he'd be like, fish, I'm gonna fucking beat you. And so like this guy was like a bully. And then I met him in high school. Like I got to primary school in Tempe Public. There was the first school that I went to that wasn't homeschool. Like I went to raised by my mum. Then I went to preschool with some other kids. Then went to homeschool. Then went to Tempe Public.
What age was that as well? What age when you're hitting Tempe Public?
Year 6.
So 6 Billum's there, is he?
Yeah, year
Yep.
6. Billum is across the street at the high school.
No.
He's across the street at the high
Okay,
school. It's
gosh.
literally like a very tiny street.
He
And
doesn't forget.
He didn't remember me at all.
Okay.
But
Oh,
he
gosh.
still sensed my energy and was like, I'm going to try and fuck with this kid.
Oh, did he actually? What?
Straight up try to like bully me again. Like, and he didn't even like.
He doesn't even remember you, and he's still bullying
And
you.
the thing
That's
was,
badass.
the thing was, I didn't remember him either. It was
Oh.
my dad who actually, because I was like, yeah, Dad, this fucking guy's fucking with me on the way back from home.
Oh.
And my dad was like, he was always like a guy that would go, I've seen him a couple times knock on another parent's door and be like, bring out the dad or bring out the brother because we have problems. Like
Right.
And he had told him this was happening, and he came out and he waited because my primary school was across the school from the high school.
Yeah.
He waited till all the kids came out and he was like, which one is it? And then I pointed him out.
Dang.
Like a brothel.
Yeah. Like a beat up brothel, dude. 100%.
Yeah.
I pointed him out. I was like, it's that motherfucker. That's this guy. And my dad went up to him and was like, you're fucking with my son. Like, went up, and he came back to the car and he goes, that's Billum. He goes, do you remember Billum, Elliot? And I was like, yeah. Like, we hadn't even spoken about him since that point. And he goes, that's fucking Billum. And he goes, look, Elliot, don't worry about that guy, man. Like, he goes, that guy is one evolution off knuckle dragger. Like,
Dang.
that guy is an idiot. Like, he's just not raised well. He has nothing to lose. He's just an idiot. Like, don't worry about this motherfucker. Like, it's not a problem. Like, he just was fucking with you, you know? And,
Yeah.
But my dad just came out and got in Billem's face. And I remember the thing about Billem was that I've seen my dad get in people's faces, but Billem had almost dealt with it before. Like almost like his dad was like my dad, where he was like in his face and was like, he wasn't completely intimidated by him. Like he was like, all right, this guy could fuck me up. I'll just do what you tell me to do kind of thing. But obviously I don't like you. You know, it was like this, like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Not like,
there's no fear.
it was like not a dishonor where he had like a fucking, I'm going to hate myself for not remembering it later. He had like a fucking, deference. He had like a fucking, I don't know. He had like he didn't give a shit about my dad's authority. He was just like, oh, I've seen this shit before, but obviously you're gonna kick the shit out of me, so I'll just move on. And I found that fascinating, like looking out the fucking car window. But I remember looking at my dad go over and then just like, but he never fucked with me again. Like he never.
Really?
No.
That's all worked.
No, he never fucked with me. Yeah, no, he never.
I was so ready for your dad to be like scared. He's like,
no.
I ain't going no Bill.
I think my dad felt bad for him. He was like, he went over and he was like, this kid's fucking retarded, man. Like, I mean, like bleep that, but he was like, this kid's fucking.
We're not bleeping stuff. Well, actually, Karim might.
I can be a bit of a bleeper.
I'm just tossing it in. I'm just fucking around. Just put in whatever you want. But
I'll have to clap if you really want it bleeped.
No.
Okay.
I think he saw that he was just like, this kid's like, he doesn't have a good life, and there's no reason for me to take out any anger that I'm feeling for something that he did to my kid. You know what I mean?
It's sweet that your dad broke it down for you in that way.
My dad was always like that.
Yeah,
he was very much like that. Like he was like very quick to violence, but it was also kind of always logical. And there was times where it felt like it was logical from your perspective. He would like be like, no, you don't do it because of that or because of this. And I learned a lot from him in terms of that. But and like drawing a line of where you don't let people cross. With you and be like, don't let them do that to you. But if they do that, if they do it to you, assess why. Who is this person? Why are they doing that to you? Do they know what they're doing and they're crossing the line on purpose? Or is this somebody who's stumbled and just been like, you're across a line now and it's pissing me off, but maybe you don't know and it's not worth it. The ramifications of me treating you as disrespected as I feel is not worth what you've actually done. It's not a proportionate, you know?
That's a great lesson.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
my dad was always very good at that, which is also, it also keeps on your mind. You're like, am I being disrespected? You know what I mean? What category am I, what tier am I putting this in, you know?
Dang, you get hit by the bullies?
Nah, the worst thing that happened, which I think I've spoken about on pod, was, it wasn't me, but there was a kid in our year who came over to like my group and he'd like hang out with us sometimes and whatever.
Yeah.
But he was just like thick-headed kind of dude. And he opened my friend's bag while my friend was like in the bathroom or something at lunch. And he opened his bag, opened his lunchbox while we all sat there, opened the sandwich.
Yeah, I hate this.
Unwrapped it, opened the sandwich, spat in it, closed it, wrapped it back up, put it in the thing, put it in the bag. And no one said anything. My friend came back and like was just like bantering and whatever. And everyone else is just sitting there like, this is so fucked up. And he took out his sandwich and had one bite and was like,
he saw it, he noticed it.
yeah.
This kid's just what is he, a fucking sommelier, dude?
I would hate that.
If I'm enjoying a sandwich, I might not miss.
I would not have noticed it at all.
Okay, so what happened? Did anyone snitch out the fuckhead?
It was very obvious. He kind of had one bite and was like, why is everyone so sus? I don't know if he tasted or saw it or anything like that.
We just saw everyone looking at him to take that first bite, being like,
no, but the thing was literally like, if we said anything, this guy was like bigger than everyone.
He's gonna beat
like,
you up if you
like,
get away if you call him out. Or even
well, he wouldn't have even.
Was he a big fellow?
Yeah, and just like a rough.
It would have caused. It would have been. There would have been a problem if you were like, "Hey, dude."
And so, what type of guy was the guy that spat in his sandwich?
A big guy.
So two big guys.
Oh no, the guy that got his sandwich spat in was not a big guy. Also, not a
tiny little boy.
Right.
Dang, I can't stand that.
Yeah. That was a bad one. And also,
so you bitched out and didn't. Was it your friend that was like? Are you like? I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
I'm just going to enjoy the show.
We were so mean to each other as well, like in general.
What school did you go to?
It was probably a part of me that was like, I want this cunt to eat that.
Oh, really? You kind of didn't
No,
like
I am joking. No, it was terrible. If that happened to me, I would have been so off it. He would have been so, yeah.
What school was it?
Public school, Ulladulla High.
Ulladulla.
Ulladulla High, baby.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, shout out.
Dang, it's so annoying, just all those things that like you wish you could have done differently when you're in high school. It's just like, I wish I had some courage.
Yeah.
I wish I kind of could have stopped, It's nuts.
Yeah.
We should actually move into the EJ show.
Oh, yeah, the EJ show.
Oh, yeah, the Patreon.
True.
Yeah,
Patreon part of your show.
Part of the show.
Yeah, part two is going to be an EJ show.
Yeah.
So check that the fuck
guys.
out.
Come and check out the What EJ Mouth Do podcast. You can find it on anywhere that you find podcasts. I think mainly Spotify and Apple and the podcast app. But also check out my page Elliot Rovedi on Instagram because I'm starting this new little series of my set list, EJ set lists, and it's basically I don't know how often I'm going to post. Maybe I think I'm hoping a couple times a week, but it's a breakdown of how I do my set list every week, whether it be an explanation for why I'm doing the same jokes over and over again, but or why I'm going to take out a joke that is in the set list or add a joke, or it's basically just how I'm changing my hour as I approach the hour.
That sounds sick, man.
Yeah, so I
haven't seen anyone do that. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah, so check out EJ's set list.
I'm keen to check that out.
Elliot
yeah,
seriously. The first episode is up there. Check that out. But I've got a bunch of concepts. I've got a bunch of videos and a bunch of sets that I'm going to show you guys, and it'll be a lot of fun. So check all that out. And follow me on Instagram because that's where I'm going to post most of where my shows are going to be. And I'm very thankful for you boys having me on the show because I love your I love your show. I love the band. And when you guys were on my show, I had people immediately being like, when are they back? And I feel really bad that it's been so long since you guys have been back because...
we're back now, baby.
We're back now, baby.
Yeah, they were like, we love the chemistry. I was worried. I was like, were we a little bit bumpy in chemistry? But they were like, it was smooth. It was good, bro. It was good. Nice.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we're so happy to be back in your gaff and ready to, get into this puppy.
I like it.
Well, let's rip into it, boys.
Okay, let's rip into it.
Peace.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.